You know, without a doubt, cranking a big crankbait out in deep water is, I don't know if it's my favorite thing to do because, you know, I like catching them every way I can catch them, but this is something I really, really love to do is deep cranking. I won the Classic doing that years ago, and there's a Strike King 6XD and Set Your Shad. If I could only have one, that'd probably be the one I'd want right there. But we're gonna talk about rod and reel. Lou's come out with a new rod, and it's a 6XD cranking series. And this 6XD is 7'6" long, and it's super lightweight. It's so well balanced. It has become my favorite deep cranking rod. I have it paired up with our new BB1 Pro, which is a slightly wider spooled reel than our standard reels, but it's also a little bit narrower than our old BB1. It's the perfect spool size for a casting reel. It's got enough line capacity to make those super long casts, and that's what it's all about in cranking. It's making a long cast. And the further you can get that lure out there, and the lighter the line you use. And here's another thing about cranking. You know, everybody thinks, oh, you burn it, burn it, burn it. Well, if you can do that, but if you'll just steady retrieve, just a steady retrieve will get that lure to its deepest point. Talk a little bit more about the rod. 7'6". It helps you with the long cast. But you know, if you use a rod that's so limber, if you're way out there on the end of your cast and you get a fish on, you need a rod that's got enough backbone, you know, to hook him. And you can see that rod has some backbone, but it's still, yeah, it's forgiving. It's also has a somewhat of a parabolic bend. You can see that you've got backbone, you know, halfway up right here. You've got plenty of rod. So it helps you with the cast, it helps you with the hook set. It's light. I also like a rod that I can fish with all day, that it doesn't tire you out, that it's not cumbersome. This rod fills the bill. And paired up with that reel, the new BB1 Pro, I'm gonna fish 10-pound test line, fluorocarbon. It's gonna be as light as I'm gonna go. Usually I'm gonna use 12 or 15-pound test line, unless I want my bait to run a little shallower. A lot of times you'll have the right lure, you want to shallow it up a little bit so you can go up in line size. As far as line size, that's what we're talking. Normally 12 or 15, and long cast, unless you don't want it to run deep. If you don't want it to run as deep, you shorten your cast up. So those are the finer points of crankbait fishing. But as far as the rod and reel, the 6XD rod, for me, that's the rod.